look at the logistics. If you look at the logistics bit now, because when you highlight movement of materials,
yes,
which is perhaps part of the reason why it was, rescheduled in the first instance, where the chairman said, look, we need to do something about some of this. So I think from that, you could suggest that they recognize that something needs to be done to improve the process.
Absolutely.
What would you like to see? Would you like to see a different body responsible for logistics or what?
Absolutely, yes. That should be totally contracted out.
How? In what way?
Should be totally contracted out to a security company.
But to
handle the movement of materials.
You know that even in this whole process,
yes,
private sector operators were involved.
To what extent? They hire trucks from private sector operators.
So
that was the level of involvement.
What would you want to say? Give us your...
That was the level of involvement. You need to have gone to any of the CBN offices to see the chaos. And then when materials eventually left and got to the local government, it was even worse. And again, I think even in strengthening the laws, some of these things should be time-bound.
In terms of when you need to move the material?
Yes, when you need to move the material, how long it takes to get to the local government. When it gets there, how long it takes to get them out of the truck, do your sorting and all that. Because when they get...
How do you mean it should be time-bound? You legislate on the timing?
See, look at what happened in the last elections. Materials, the RECs in the various states were at liberty to determine when the materials were to leave. Some materials moved on a Tuesday, some moved on Wednesday, some moved on Thursday for elections that were supposed to be conducted on Saturday. That shouldn't be the case. And then when the materials got to the local government areas, they were sorted all through the nights. When the EO gets tired, he says, oh, I'm tired, everybody should go and sleep. And people are suspicious. They don't want to leave the center. And then the military comes in and begins to brutalize people to drive them away from that. I mean, you don't do that in the 21st century.
Clearly, there are problems and there are shortcomings.
Severe shortcomings.
But in trying to get it right in 2023, or even maybe some other elections that will happen before then,
yes,
what does INEC need?
Like I said, INEC needs to contract out the logistics. Movement of materials should go to a security firm, so that we have somebody we can hold.
Why a security firm?
Sorry?
Why a security firm?
Those who are trained and those
They're not the transport office.
No. The problem is not with the transportation.
Is it for security to provide security to move the materials?
To provide security to improve the efficiency.
Yeah, but
that's what we're looking at.
What currently obtains now is INEC partnered with NURTW.
Yes.
And then FRSC were involved in the matter as well.
Yes.
So those are relevant agencies. So if you want a private sector company,
NURTW just provided trucks. They just provided.
So what would you want the security company to provide?
Now, the security company should provide trucks that are secure, so that people have confidence that when this truck moves, that nobody can access the materials within the truck. NURTW provided trucks. Some of them were even cold room vans.
That will be too expensive for INEC. They're already grappling with
We've not even looked at that yet.
200 billion.
We've not looked at that yet. We've not called for proposals to know whether it will be too expensive or not. You may even find out it will be cheaper than using the trucks provided by NURTW. I'm telling you, these are things people must have confidence in the process, because political parties that didn't have the money and wherewithal to provide security to escort these materials, maybe like PDP or APC and the rest of them, already lost confidence in the process because they felt that these materials would be tampered with before they even get to the ultimate destination.
Are we spending too much on our elections?
Well, when you look at the size of Nigeria and you look at what INEC says they do, I think we're spending way too much.
So you would have looked at the process. How do we cut down on cost?
I've given you one instance. I believe that if you bring
the transportation, okay, what other areas?
We also need to look at that. We need to look at the recruitment process, because time wasted is money lost. When you just recruit arbitrarily, your training is not clearly defined. You don't have a way of examining those that you train to know whether they actually keyed into the training, and then they go into the field and they don't perform. That is money lost. That's good money lost. And then, okay, looking at the laws as well. When, for instance, you said, I'm interested in Imo, I have to be interested in Imo State. That's where I come from. Incidentally, I come from Olu Zone.
If we go...
Imo West Senatorial Zone, where we have a situation that is still trending. And a returning officer is talking about a situation he found himself in. So we need laws.
Yes, that's what I'm getting to.
That should capture such...
No, hold on.
Yes.
If we go the way of the amendment of the electoral bill,
yes,
will it solve the situation? Because some people have said perhaps it is one pill kills the illness. Some people say no. Even if the president were to amend those laws, we'll still have more problems. What do you think?
We have to deal in specifics, not just talk about it. People are saying if we amend, we have more problems. We have to deal with specifics. In the last election, not the 2015 election, we had a case in Kogi State, which wasn't envisaged. We adjusted, right? That is the way we move forward. In Imo today, we have a situation which was not envisaged.
Yeah, but we're looking at the broader picture in terms of...
No, that's the broader picture because it can happen anywhere.
What do we do?
It can happen anywhere. So we need to look at those laws. Section 68 says once an RO makes a pronouncement, you can only challenge it in a court of law.
But what if you
the document that he's basing his pronouncement on is a fraud?
If you're talking about this whole process on the larger scale,
okay,
because there's been a bill before this National Assembly now, the way it comes across from your submission, it looks as if, look, moving these materials, conducting the elections could be one top security move. So if there's that much focus on this conduct, so what about why is it this contentious in the first place? Shouldn't we pay attention to that as well? Because, for instance, if politicians are fighting and doing all of this just to get in there, how much service are they going to render to the people? What should we be doing about how attractive or otherwise should we make those offices that they're all fighting for in the first place?
That's another discourse altogether. Because at several foreign Nigerians have continued to talk about it. How do you make it less attractive? How do you decentralize? Isn't the key?
Which one should weigh topmost? Should that be the main focus or should it go side by side? What kind of, on the scale of preference, how should
I think we should get that neck right first. I think we should improve on the administrative processes. We should strengthen our laws so that when people get in there, we can now begin to look at how we make
even if you get that right and the attraction is too much, politicians always think about how to circumvent the system.
Not just politicians. I've told you that you can't isolate INEC from the decadence.
Neither can we isolate politicians. They are the ones who are making or pushing some of these people to make it.
See,
we can't isolate politicians
INEC
as well,
recruits
can we?
now most returning officers from federal institutions.
Who gives them?
Right?
Politicians.
INEC recruits them.
Don't politicians
now,
play a role
you have
in
a lecturer, a professor.
No, don't politicians play a
who is
role
recruited,
in that recruitment?
and then he goes and tells these people, I've gotten... No.
Don't they play a role, the politicians themselves?
No, they do. They do.
Exactly.
Of course they do. They do. Even the security agencies, are compromised, heavily compromised. You have situations where...
I don't know about
a governor,
heavily compromised.
No, heavily compromised, I can tell you that. Yes, I monitored the elections in Imo State.
Who compromises them? Politicians.
No, just don't say politicians. The politicians are not isolated from the society.
Who compromises them?
You have a situation where a commissioner of police,
okay, who compromises them?
Even goes to make an offer to the politician, says, okay, you have an ADC. So, why don't I withdraw your ADC and now post him to your locality?
Are you absorbing politicians?
As the chief security officer for that election?
Are you absorbing politicians from the whole equation?
I'm telling you that it's a mixed bag.
So again, in terms of improving this process, should we, because there are many who will say in the first instance, if that office was not that attractive, nobody will be fighting and killing themselves to get into those offices in the first instance. Should we have a situation where, and how helpful will it be, if we have, say, look, when governments come in, the first 6 months, they have to send proposals to improve the Electoral Act and the process such that whatever happens, we will have time to make all the necessary adjustments before the main elections. If we do that, how impactful do you think that will be?
Like I said before, we love all this, high-sounding proposals and all that. Let's just go back to
how is this high-sounding? Let's just
go back to the basis as a nation.
What is the basis?
Let's get the society right.
What is the basis?
Let's get the society right.
How?
Let's look at our moral values. Let's look at our discipline as a people. It takes two to tango. If a politician comes to an election and comes to a polling unit and offers money to a voter and the voter says, no, he's not going to take it, he's going to vote his conscience, the elections will speak.
So
if a returning officer is offered money and he turns it down, collates and pronounces what is before him, what actually reflects the elections, this nation will be changed.
By that you are
those desperate politicians, as you call them, will not find their way there.
Okay.
If the IG of police does not withdraw an ADC to a governor and post him as a security officer in an election where the governor is participating, we'll get these things right.
By that,
so let's just leave all these issues of restructuring and...
You're placing a responsibility on the electorate. What should the role of the electorate be in this whole ideology that you're pushing forward?
The electorate should go out there and vote their conscience. They know the people. They know the people.
Even
when somebody
will their votes count?
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That they should refuse those inducements.
Are you facing the reality that poverty has become a bane, such that elections may not even succeed, no matter how you
Nigeria
try?
is not the only punishment under the sky.
All right, Chinenye Wabose, a political analyst, thank you for coming on this morning. So there you go. That's the show today. We thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. I'm Chamberlain Uso.
I'm Gimba Umar.
I'm Ayo Makine.
Thank you, Maokwe Ogun Yusuf.